Your training plan is one of the first things you have to actually take into consideration when we are talking about starting going to the gym. But it, of course, doesn't stay the same throughout all of your gym journey, so it's the kind of thing you have to be aware about if you want to start and you are well familiar with if you're already going to the gym. And today I want to share with you my training plan, my training split, basically the way I train right now, because it changed like 2 months ago. Yeah, 2 months ago. So as this beginning of the story, basically with the start of this semester at my university, I found myself having less time because of having to basically put more time into the projects. So I had to switch off my very comfortable, I mean, time consuming, let's say, 4-day gym split. Because I had a split where on day 1 I would do chest and shoulders, day 2 back and abs, day 3 arms, and day 4 legs. Very simple, kind of enjoyable, kind of time consuming. And right now I'm able to go 3 times a week. So I found myself, of course, okay, I have a 4-day plan and I'm not able to stick with it perfectly. So doing those 4 days actually takes me 9 normal days throughout life. So I decided that I should go back to 3-day plan. And on my channel you could find a video of push-pull leg split that I was doing back in times. But right now I'm doing a variation. I'm doing a variation that is actually found to be one of the best out of 3-day plans. And it is push-pull full body workout. I'm not gonna put on you a lot of research that, okay, this study shows that training in a full body workout actually makes you stronger rather than splitting push-pull legs. No, it's just something that works for me. I feel comfortable about, and I want to go to the gym to do this because that's one of the aspects that I'm gonna likely touch today. But not to waste time, day 1, push. I don't do long workouts. I've put actually, it's like 7 exercises per day. Of course, every one of different set aspects and different reps. I'm gonna go over that with every exercise. But it's not a long training in the matter of strength training because there's also cardio involved. And if we sum this up, it actually takes some time. But in the matter of the strength training, you don't need that much of a time volume. You just basically need to do the things that you get to do. And in my plan, it is starting with the classic bench press. There was times where I've actually cut out bench press out of my gym plan because I wasn't able to progress with it, basically. And I don't know, I can't really go back into my mind at this moment why I decided to cut it off. But right now I'm back, and I've been doing this for a couple of months already, and right now I'm on a cut. So the strength obviously went down, but I still keep up with that because when I go back on the bulk, which I don't know when it will happen, I'm actually, I believe I'm on the point to finally hit 100 kilogram bench press. It's like this holy grail of gym community, lifting 100 kilograms over yourself on the bench. And I really want to achieve that. Right now my PR is 90 kilos. After that I've approached 95 and got an injury for almost a month. Then I went for a cut, so like my chances went down. And I have to come back, but right now I'm focused on cutting the weight. But still want to take care of my strength and my form, not to get rusty on the bench press, so that's why I do that. On the second exercise on this day, I do barbell inclined bench press. No, barbell, dumbbell. Sorry. Yeah, English not my main language. So I take the dumbbells. The bench is inclined, so I'm not lying completely flat. My head is a little over the rest of my body. So like I'm in this position, head here and ass here. And That's where I go. Actually, with the bench press, because I forgot that I was supposed to say that, I'm likely to go around 3 normal sets, before them 1 warm-up set, so it's like empty bar, and after that immediately 50 kilos for me right now, and then I put on 75 and do as much as I can on this day. If the amount is low, so I'm like able to only do 4 with 75, I go down to 70. If it's flying, I go to 77.5. Of course, the numbers will develop. That's how the gym works. Even despite I'm on a cut, the number will develop. But does this matter? And for the dumbbell press, I go for 4 sets instead of 3, because I'm actually warmed up and I want to really squeeze as much as I can. So I pick the weight that's comfortable for the day, because sometimes after the bench press, I still have some energy left because some other factors stop me on the sets. Sometimes it's really, really tired after this single one exercise of the bench press. So it's like to squeeze more, to basically squeeze more. So I won't tell you the weight, but I go for 4 sets and likely from 10 to 12 reps, because I like going to higher amount of reps on this exercise, because it simply works for me better. It's better to tire myself out, as it is the last exercise for the chest on this day, because despite it is a push day, I only do 2 exercises for chest. Then we go to shoulders, where I focus on the front delt and the side delt. For the side, lateral raises. Right now I'm trying a variation where I'm on the bench, like laying on the side, with it being a little bit tilted from the straight line, and I do like support my body weight on this, so I'm able to more control the weight of the dumbbell. But any variation will work for you. Again, 4 sets, higher rep range, like 10 to 12, and the weight's also subjective for the day. Right now I'm mostly taking 12 or 14 kilos. And for the front delt, I've spent some time looking for an exercise that works for me. And what I found was finally a seated overhead press. There is this special machine when the barbell is attached to 2 pipes, so it can't go any other direction than up and down. I don't know the exact name in the English, but that's what I use right now. So I'm able to actually, stabilize myself, and I'm not worried about failing the rep, because with standing overhead press and some variations of it, it worked on my back. I couldn't keep my posture well. I couldn't keep my balance well. Well, balance was always my problem, and we're gonna go back to that in this video actually. But as I'm almost 2 meter high, it's not that easy to keep balance. So I went for the seated variation, and it works wonders for me right now. Rep range 7 to 10, let's say. I don't go on a very high rep range, and I do likely 4 sets, but sometimes 3, because also the chest, especially upper chest, is working with this exercise, and if it's really fucking tired after this day, I have to drop this set and instead focus on the first set being like fight for life. And then we go to the tricep on this day. My favorite exercise for this day, because I like to train my arms in a heavy exercise, at least 1 per training week. I go for a cable push down. So on the cable, I attach a handle that's metal, not a rope, but steel handle, and basically push down the weight. You know the exercise, obviously. Rep range around 10 to 12, weight around 45-50 kilos on the cable machine. So of course it works a little bit differently, but not to go over this detail. I love this exercise because, as I've said, I like to tire my arms in a heavy exercise, so they are activated, pumped up, and it actually works because I have to fight for those reps. About the form itself of every exercise I do. If it's not involving any difficulties, so like on the bench press, if I went too hard, I could squash myself with the bar. Or if I don't care about my form, I could injure myself. That's like certain. But for the exercise where I'm safe, I like to fight till the failure in the sake of perfect form. So I'm more like Samsung. I love fighting in every set, every rep. So I'm picking the weight that I actually struggle with, and instead of focusing on 100% perfect form, I'd rather put more weight and put more work to it. Some might call it ego lifting. I don't find it as ego lifting. Of course, it goes this way, but not at this point. I believe that I'm wise enough in doing this that it's not that tiring, not that negative as ego lifting, let's just say. And for the last exercise of this day, I go and do dips. I don't know how much because it really depends on the day. It's a calisthenic exercise, and as I'm not perfect in this, it really varies throughout the day, like day to day. And of course, after entirety of this training, both my triceps and my chest, so main muscles that work on dips, are fucked up, so I'm not able to do much. If I were to start, I'd likely maybe even do 15 to 20 good form. I actually have to try next training. But it really varies and the number is lower on the normal training days. And likely there are 3 sets. Second day, pull day, is of course starting with the back. And again I'm starting with the very basic exercise, pull-ups. So again calisthenics. And I love this exercise, but I'm not good at it. I'm heavy. I'm tall. We could say still skinny fat. And I used to be like a total definition of skinny fat. So it's tiring because I'm not skinny and light. I didn't have any muscle, but I was still heavy. So it's the worst thing you could have for calisthenics. And some parts of it still is with me till this day. So at this, I feel that good. But right now I'm able to do 7 reps of the first set, like no support at all. And later after that, I put on the resistance band. Do as much as I can. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 3 on the second set. Put my foot into the resistance band, and with support of it, so me actually being lighter due to it, squeeze another 4 or 5. And this I could even do 5 sets. I usually do 5 sets. So the first set is like no support. We start with fight. It's basically like my counting PR because it's the amount that I can do on the fresh with only a little bit of stretch at the start because it's healthy and it's beneficial not to injure yourself. But after that, I fight. And the resistance band helped me to fight for more, and it actually makes me progress, so I'm gonna stay with that. The next exercise is rowing. And I say rowing in the basic because I experiment till this day. I'm experimenting between 2 variations, a barbell row with support and a dumbbell row on the incline bench. The first one is what I used to do the last month. So I take the barbell, I take another barbell and put it on the rack, and then I put my forehead on this rack, on this barbell on the rack. So it's supporting my body weight itself and my posture, and I was able to squeeze very hard. So I really like this exercise, and I right now experiment, and I come back to something I used to do 1.5 years ago. So laying on the bench that's inclined till this level is like, on my gym it's 2 out of 5 incline. I don't know the angle perfectly, but I take the dumbbells and basically do the same rep, do the same, not the rep, but the same movement, of course. So basically row the weight, like 3 to 4 sets, likely around 10 repetition on each set, something like that. It's also, again, I'm experimenting with the exercise, so I am experimenting with the rep range itself. It's not that easy for me to say you right now the exact number. But on this day, that's all I do for the back. Then we go back to the shoulders because we touched the front, we touched the side delt, I'm not sure, and we're left with the rear delt, so the back one. And for that I do reverse flies. There is a machine on my gym that serves us for basic normal flies for the chest and the reverse flies for the rear delts. And out there, 4 sets, around 12 reps. Sometimes I go heavier and less reps. Again, still, like, back was one of the worst days for me because I didn't find myself in it for a long time. And I had to experiment with a lot of things to actually make it work for me. One of the aspects of this is my very weak grip. Right now it's getting better, but it was a problem. And as I was experimenting with the back, rear delts was also part of this day where I still, till this day, experiment. And then, after this exercise, we go to the bicep, of course. So, of course, again, I love putting the most amount of weight I can on my arms. And I do basic dumbbell curls. Right now I'm taking 18s. When it was a separate day and I was not on a cut, I was able to easily take 24 kilos, but right now times are different. So I take 18s usually, 18 kilos, around 11 reps per arm, because I do it alternate, so this and this and this and this, around 11. And then if I can do it on the next sets and the number is terrifyingly low, I take 16s, like it's natural. And that's the first exercise. And the second one is actually a different, like, I like it, but it's a little extraordinary. I take the cable from the cable machine and I do it like on the rope. So it kind of works on similarly to the barbell curl, but I'm able to adjust my wrist angle because that's also something going with me. I have to take a kind of specific angle. So I do almost like a hammer curls. Of course, it's also good for the sake of training another muscle in the bicep, another head of the bicep. But for me, it's a problem to actually take the weight like this way, the natural way, and do a rep range till my muscles in the biceps are tired, because first thing failing are my wrists. It was like that for a long time. There were some injuries throughout of it. Right now I just work on what I have. The last exercise of this day is for abs. And up to this day, for the last months I was doing normal crunches and it was working perfectly. The rep range again, as much as I can squeeze throughout the day. Not much to say about this. And we go to third day, which is the full body workout. Then we could split this day to 2 parts. What we hit throughout the first 2 days and legs. Because for me, the upper body is a part of my, like, the most desired part of my body to develop. I don't really care that much about having huge legs. Of course, I want to train them. That's why I have a full body workout. So, we go with a machine bench press, because it allows me to squeeze as much as I can without the fear of failing. And additionally, it gives me another grip. So instead of holding the weight like this, I can hold it like this. So it's really narrow and it really squeezes everything out of me. 4 sets, 9 reps around, let's just say, because it also varies. The exercise for back is cable row, seated cable row. So it's also something that you've probably seen. The weight right now, I think 63 for 4 sets for 10 reps, around, of course. The third exercise on this day is the preacher curl for bicep. I love this. I love the squeeze. I love the stretch of the muscle. Again, 4 sets. I like to put the density on this day because I do it mostly on machines, so I'm able to do it quickly. And then around 40 kilos plus the machine. I'm not really certain right now because I have 2 preacher curls and they both count the weight kind of differently. But I do the weight that I'm comfortable with, around 10 weights for 10 reps for 4 sets. Yeah. And for the tricep, I do a variation with cables. That's a variation of katana cable, I believe. And I do it like Naruto style. So I take the cables and it's really fun to do it. And it really works on the tricep perfectly. Again, 4 sets. Weight is increasingly, like, it's increasing, but sounds even silly when I say 10 kilos per hour. Because it's not that much, but on a cable, it works differently. Especially when you have a cable per arm and you go for the good form. Trust me, this exercise is a pump. For the legs. Right now, I do 3 exercises. I know it's not that much, but as I've said, I don't want to focus that much on my legs. So instead of doing so, I do what's necessary and what's actually beneficial. So I do leg extensions, I believe. Yeah, leg extensions they're called. 3 sets, 10 reps. I don't remember the weight because also another situation of having different machines. I do the hamstring curls for 3 sets. Seated hamstring curls because they are better than the standing ones for my life. And calf raises. Again, 3 reps on the same machine I mentioned earlier. So the barbell is secured and I'm standing and I'm doing it with 100 kilos right now. 3 sets, 20 reps. So that's been my gym plan. After every day, I do cardio. I will record another video of that, but I want to do 10,000 stories on the staircase master. So throughout the entire year. And right now I'm over 4,000 and I want to increase that with every training. And it aligns with my cut. So around 20 minutes every day, every gym day of course. And it all sums up to that is my training plan. I hope it was somehow helpful to listen. And now go and make your way to better future.